If you are an average factory worker in Topeka, Kansas, and your moment of political engagement is you've done your shift at the auto factory, and you come home and you get on Facebook, something irritates you, and you type out your 4 paragraphs, and you feel like you've really done something, and then that post disappears, your profile is ghosted or silenced for however long. How do you think you feel? You feel removed from the system. You feel like there are invisible forces that are stopping you. And guess what? There were invisible forces that were stopping you.
When social media became a thing in the late 2007, 2008, 2009, we realized that grassroots organizing was fundamentally different than it used to be. It used to be face-to-face. It used to be kind of a grind to get people to show up and fight for their freedoms. But with the very rudimentary versions of social media that emerged in 2008, 2009, we discovered that people could self-organize.
You work for us! You work for us!
And so as a Tea Party organizer, we organized something called the March on Washington. We thought we'd get 10,000 people. We got 1.5 million and totally overwhelmed any infrastructure we planned. It surprised the Capitol Police, it surprised the Park Police, it surprised everybody. And at that moment, as I'm looking out at this crowd, I'm like, something is fundamentally different. Something has changed.
Facebook came out in 2004, YouTube came out in 2005, Twitter came out in 2006, the smartphone came out in 2007.
Roll 19. Mike Benz, take 1.
It really took about a decade for subscriber counts to get to the level of mainstream news, for information distribution systems to mature to a point where individuals, citizen journalists, alternative news outlets were having a bigger impact in terms of people's perception of elections than mainstream media institutions that had existed in some cases for hundreds of years.
We go back all the way to the Gutenberg Bible, for example, right? We're no longer, we don't have to have just monks or scholarly royalty who have access to information. We make it available to the masses. Well, what does the internet mean? It means that we don't just have to rely on NBC or CBS or the New York Times to tell us what's going on. It means that everybody with a camera and with devices who can make a website can get out there and engage in it.
When we first launched, we were hoping for, maybe 400, 500 people, and now we're at 100,000 people, so who knows where we're going next.
There's a first time for everything, including the Pope's first tweet.
And this is a revolution of the first order, to really bring the real internet to your phone.
It is a choice that really goes to the heart of who we are as Americans.
And we will make America great again.
And that was a very crazy time in 2016 where you had almost all of mainstream broadcast news telling the American people who to vote for.
Trump is many things, some of them dark and dangerous, but at his core, he is a BS artist.
Yeah. This guy is a complete clown.
You're not going to be president, all right?
Donald Trump will never, ever be president.
Okay. And we're coming to a point where if you're Hillary Clinton, you're honestly probably starting to think about not just whether you will win, but how big your win will be.
And you had this very strong online presence that was overwhelmingly supporting Donald Trump.
Now he's running for US president indeed, but may already be the king of Twitter. Donald Trump's quest for the Republican presidential nomination is being feared in part by his reliance and dominating presence on social media. His tweets make news nearly every day.
Donald J. Trump will become the 45th president of the United States, defeating Hillary Clinton in a campaign unlike anything we've seen in our lifetime.
It was a crazy moment in the history of elections because it was really the first time that the internet was the dispositive force in determining an election result. This is not me saying this either. This is David Brock, who was the head of a Hillary Clinton super PAC who in January 2017 commissioned research into sort of autopsy of why Democrats lost that election in the US. And they concluded it was because of free speech on the internet.
And you could see kind of the resistance and the movement to try to explain how President Trump got elected. And it must be because people didn't have the right information. It must have been a mistake. They must have had misinformation. And so therefore that information has to be controlled. So reporters, rather than reporting the news, became agents of the resistance and really tried to control the news more than they ever had.
So we've heard the terms misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, fake news. You know, where did these terms come from? I don't know the specific origin points, the etymology of these particular terms, but I know that they got taken up very, very significantly, you know, in the past 5 years, and where we barely used those terms at all before that. So they became a media propaganda tool.
There's one man who invented the name disinformation. His name's Joseph Stalin.